Good evening. The hour being after 6:45, I'd like to call the May 11th, 2023 school committee meeting to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to start with some recognitions, and the first one is actually a moment of silence for former Walpole Public School employee Ellen Moriarty. Ellen raised her children in Walpole and then took a position with the Walpole Public Schools, working as a teacher's aide in the Stone School. Ellen then went on to be the secretary for the school's principal before moving to the superintendent's office. Heartfelt condolences are conveyed to Ellen's family. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Right, and the next order of business is the Scholastic Art Awards.
Yes, we're just gonna, we want to recognize the Gold Key Scholastic Art winner. For those of you that may not know, the Scholastic Art Awards is the nation's longest-running, most prestigious recognition program for creative teens. And with us tonight is Sophia Casellas. I cannot believe, are you a senior this year?
Yes.
It's unbelievable too. She's the winner of the Scholastic Art Award National Gold Key. She's actually the first National Gold Key winner from Walpole since 2009. Is that about right? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you all have an image of her below. It's really a remarkable achievement for Sophia. And her work was recognized by, a panel of creative professionals for outstanding work. And I know Sandy Allison is here, and she's going to be giving an art presentation later, but we want to recognize, and I don't know if you have anything to say, Sandy, about this incredible work, and Sophia, if you want.
After how it goes, Sophia, if you just advance that one.
Yeah.
If you want to just tell them about your piece. You can
Sophia,
do
you
that.
want to come right up here? We need you at the mic.
There it is.
It's short, but basically, so that was a project in Mr. Kim's class, Mr. Kim's contemporary art class, one of my favorite classes. But so basically, it was to create like a textured piece, so like a layered. It was like really thick, but so I didn't have any like reference picture or anything, obviously. But my inspiration was the ceiling in the art wing at Walpole High, because it's like all these like pipes and wires and stuff. It's really cool. So yeah, thank you guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Sophia, I was also able to see at the District Art Show, you had multiple pieces in one of the large room when you walk into the community room. And that was pretty amazing too. I was just asking, was it like a theme? Like I noticed it was a theme, like they were very, very similar.
It was
Can you-
for the AP art investigation. So we do like 15 pieces throughout the whole year, so those were my favorite ones.
Yeah, they were really great.
Thank you.
Good job. That's amazing. Is it paint? You said mixed media?
It's a lot, yeah.
Okay. Is it paint? Cool. It's amazing.
Thank
Nice
you.
job. Any, Carrie?
Congratulations, Sophia. I'm just curious if you're planning to pursue art after high school.
Yes, I'm gonna go to Mass Art in the fall.
Congratulations.
That's great. Thank you.
Nice job. And I know that you're also in the film festival, so I know you have to take off on it. Busy person you are, thank you.
Very good.
All right, our next recognition.
Let's go, yes, Joy.
Yeah. So we'd like to recognize Joy for all of your contributions to the school committee meetings.
Thank you.
She's one of our she's graduating, it's just really hard to believe too, but unbelievable.
So we have a book for you that we give to all of our reporting seniors and a certificate to thank you for all of your contributions to the school committee meetings. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
can I just add one thing about Joy?
Absolutely.
So Joy is being recognized here tonight for her time that she spends with us, but I do want to also make a note that Joy is an incredible leader at Walpole High School. So well respected, not only by the staff and teachers, but also by her peers. So I know that we are so proud that she's recognized here by school committee, but also proud of the voice she has in our system and our school and the work she's done and how well she's respected and admired by so many. So I just want to make sure I say that as well.
Thank you.
Other comments or Carrie?
Is Ms. Castro Burke okay?
I don't know about that.
She's hanging in. She's doing good.
Tell her we've got her back if she needs, a shoulder to cry on. I know she's gonna miss you terribly, and we will too, and we wish you the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
And you're going to be attending UMass Boston?
Yes.
Focusing on biology?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll now put another spotlight on you and give you the floor for the high school report.
Awesome. So as the summer approaches quickly, students are ramping up activities and festivities to prepare for the end of the school year, especially seniors. During this week and the past week, AP testing has occurred and will continue to occur until Friday for all of the AP classes. With the year wrapping up, the AP tests are one of the signs that summer is approaching. Some major events going on are the semi-formal for freshmen and sophomore. The freshman semi-formal is set to take place on Friday, June 9th, and the sophomore semi on Saturday, June 10th. For juniors and seniors, a prom is to take place on Friday, May 26th, and it is the talk of the school with everyone ready to celebrate with their fellow classmates. While the dances are an extremely huge moment for many, there are some other exciting events seniors are looking forward to, such as the film festival, senior walk, senior dinner, and graduation. The film festival is always a huge hit with the school, but this being our last one, we're all super excited to see what our classmates have produced. The film festival, as of, is set to happen on May 11th at 7 p.m. The senior walk and senior dinner are more exclusive to seniors, and those mark the end of the year for us, with the senior walk happening on our last day of school and the senior dinner happening a few days before graduation. And for the moment we've all been waiting for about 12 years, graduation. I know we're all super ecstatic to graduate and participate in the walking of the stage and receiving our diplomas and reciprocation for all the hard work we put in for the last 12 years. While graduation is the marking of an era, we're all on a path to a new one, whether that's college, work, or something else. For those going to college, decision day was on May 1st, so that was super exciting and very nerve-wracking, as I can personally vouch for. But although new and nerve-wracking, we're all super excited and ready to start the next chapter of our lives. On another note, athletics have been on a roll with everyone putting an extreme effort and dedication into the sport. I'm sure for the seniors, they're extremely grateful for the last few years as everything slowly comes to a bittersweet ending. As of right now, the next few games for baseball, softball, lacrosse, tennis, and golf are set to happen over the next few days. Best of luck to those playing. Some of the other things happening with the clubs include the WHS Humane Society, which is collecting donations for local animal shelters starting on May 1st. The Photography Club, which is having their next meeting on May 11th, and the French Club, which is going on a field trip soon. Because it's Teachers Appreciation Week, I would like to wish y'all happy Teachers Appreciation Week, and thank you guys for everything that you guys do. Thank you.
And thank you for all of your
Of
contributions.
course,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure.
It's amazing. Any questions or comments for Joy?
I would just say, I hope you stay in touch with us.
Of
We
course,
always love
of
to hear,
course.
What's next in people's lives.
Of
so
course,
good
I will
luck.
definitely be back. I'll visit.
That's
often.
wonderful. Thank you.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. And we know you probably have some of those busy things to do tonight, so it's okay if you
Yes.
can't stay.
Thank you so much. I'll
Joy.
see you guys soon.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
Safe graduation.
All right, the next order of business is a music update.
Music. So Mr. Timothy Fleming, who is the K-12 music coordinator and the Walpole High School band director, will provide you a little bit with an update and recognize some students who earned the opportunity to participate in a variety of festivals. So Mr. Fleming has been on nonstop with all of these events that are coming up. So I know that you must be unbelievably tired. We appreciate you taking the time to come in tonight.
My pleasure. I think next year when Bill Hahn sends out the dates, Miss Allison and I probably will scream back if it's on May again, between prom and Pops Night and concerts and graduation and things like that. But it's a pleasure to be here, so I appreciate the time. So some quick updates about what's going on in the music department, and then I have some students I wanted to recognize. So I'm just going to go level to level. The elementary school is not doing a lot different right now this year. As you know, last year they moved to the 4-day rotation, and specials are 40 minutes instead of 30 minutes. And so last year they updated the curriculum of a few of the grade levels, but this year they've continued the work on updating the curriculum to adjust for longer meetings with the students, but seeing them less total hours. One of the kind of fallouts of that is that they can't always reach all of the standards that they used to be able to reach, but they can put some more depth into those standards, which is probably a better thing because it is very scaffolded in the elementary level anyway, and so they can whenever I walk into the elementary classrooms, now under the 40-minute, the last 10 minutes is always really exciting because there's so much more creating going on in the classrooms, whereas it was very typically much more difficult to get there, and you went and you stayed mostly in the performing area, and so the students are they're getting a much richer experience in the 40 minutes. So that's definitely something that all of the grade levels they're working towards getting on board with. At the middle school, besides trying to prepare for what's ahead with the middle schools combining and that taking a lot of our brain power, the ensemble classes are really healthy right now. That would be the band, orchestra, and chorus. We got hit really hard in the pandemic across the district with our numbers. It was really difficult to motivate a child to want to blow a horn into a Zoom session or sing with a mask on 10 feet away from someone outside. Now that we have moved beyond that and we don't have the restrictions we have, we are seeing a lot of growth. This year's 6th grade groups are very healthy, and next year's 6th grade groups are even healthier. I had some kind of rough numbers right now. Out of the roughly 275 to 280 6th graders coming into the 2 middle schools, we're looking at about 240 to 245 are going to be in one of the ensemble classes. So that leaves just a smattering of students who are getting the general music experience. As I mentioned last year in my presentation, the ensembles is where it's at. That's where the deeper learning comes. That's where the brain stimulation happens. So we're really glad to see that. And of course, as a high school teacher, I'm really glad to see that because 3 years from now, I will see that hopefully at the high school level, and we'll have some huge groups going on. We are in the process of exploring options for the general music classes. The general music classes, the 3 levels look sort of similar. They're just called general music, and they do a lot of the same activities, just more mature versions of those activities. Our hope is to move to a model where as they get through middle school, they're getting a more specific curriculum, things like guitar and music technology and things like that could be a whole focus of a class versus just 6 weeks or 5 weeks of a class, because we can get really much more detailed and a deeper dive. So that is our hope. That's what we're looking at, something we have talked about possibly exploring as we move into the new middle school with lots of opportunities for change. At the high school level, we also have seen growth in our ensembles. It's a little slower because we are reliant on those middle school numbers to get there. But in 2020, when I got here, we had a little less than 60 students total in the music department. This year we have about 80, and next year we're looking at about 90 to low 90s in the music department, in the ensembles in the music department, which is I actually feel is really promising because of the fact that the middle schools are still just starting to see the growth, and so we'll see even more growth as we go along. Guitar and piano continue to be hugely popular. It just goes to show students want to do and not just sit and learn about. So we are trying to explore more ways to incorporate that in. One of the ways we've decided to incorporate that is we've added a music and film course for next year, and we're hoping students will partake in that, especially with how popular the film festival is. We kind of assume that might be a natural marriage between our departments. And finally, the music department at the high school is actually absorbing the theater classes that are in our program of studies. And so we're sort of going to be a performing arts department instead of just a strictly music department, which is really exciting for us. Our chorus teacher, Kendra Nutting, also is the drama director, and so it's a perfect marriage of the two departments. I know historically it was through the English department, but they didn't have anybody to teach it, and we did, and it makes a lot of sense to put us together. So that's the goal. We'll see who signs up for that. We're getting our numbers now for everything. And so I'd like to move on to recognizing some of our students. We have several festivals that occur in our region throughout the school year. Most of them start, the first auditions are the weekend before Thanksgiving, and auditions run all the way through February for the different festivals. Essentially what a student has to do is they have to prepare a solo performance, a predetermined piece. They have to prepare a solo, they have to prepare for the instrumentalist, they have to prepare scales, and they have to do something called sight reading, where they have a piece of music put in front of them. They're given some context for the music, and then they have to perform it for the adjudicator. They get scored, ranked, and then based on that, they put these ensembles together. We have two groups that we belong to. One is our Southeast District, which feeds to our state organization, the Massachusetts Music Educators Association. Our district has roughly 96 districts represented in it. And then we also belong to a group called SEMSBA, the Southeastern Massachusetts School Band Masters Association. That needs to be updated, obviously, because that is a very outdated title for a music organization. And that only has currently 37 school districts that are incorporated into it. So it is definitely a much less intimidating, less scary group to try to audition for. So I'm going in chronological order of experiences that students had this year in my recognition. So the first was, we had a student, Autumn Matthews here, if Autumn wants to come on up for a moment. Autumn submitted so Autumn did not get to do an in-person audition for this, which, believe it or not, in-person auditions are actually easier than pre-recorded filming yourself, because one can obsess over which is the best take I had. And I've actually witnessed that with Autumn last year, where she would send Ms. Nutting her recording, and then she would say, no, use this one. So Autumn had the opportunity. She was accepted into a national choir through the American Choral Directors Association, and they met in February in Cincinnati, Ohio, and rehearsed over a couple of days, and then did a performance at a beautiful hall in Cincinnati. But I'm going to let Autumn say a couple of words about her experience.
Yeah. So I got the great opportunity to be a part of the National Honor Choir this year. Traveling to Cincinnati, I traveled with our choral director, Kendra Nutting, and I was there for, I think, 4 nights and 5 days. And we kind of went with other schools from Massachusetts, so I met up with Norwood and Brockton kids, and we immediately clicked. I'd never met them before, and I was the only one from Walpole, but they had other groups, so that was great to connect with them. And we got to meet students from all over the country who were also participating in this festival, and you had to come in knowing the music, like notes and rhythms, but the conductor was just amazing, putting all the details into the music, and it just came together beautifully. There was about 300 kids in our choir, so the richness of sound is just heavenly, and it's something that I'm definitely gonna miss, not being able to do more things like this. And we got to meet a lot of the composers for the music. It was from a wide range of composers, which was very unique, and I haven't tried a lot of those styles, so it was such a wonderful opportunity to have. And I still am in contact with a lot of those people that I met there, so it was great.
Very cool.
Do you want to do questions before I moved on, or if you
We could, sure, we can, yeah.
I mean, if you had any for Otto, that was thinking.
I think it's amazing, and I know the other students might have a similar experience. I mean, that's what I did in high school, and even though I'm not in chorus and doing that now, it's something that I will remember forever, and it really was an amazing experience. So that's great that you had that, and that even though you had to perform on tape, that you were able to, do the concert with everybody together. So I'm so glad you were able to do that. It's amazing. Nancy?
I was just noticing that you're a senior, and I just hope that there are other opportunities that you don't know about in your future, because it sounds like this was wonderful. And I bet there could be, if you choose, some other really cool things to look forward to in the future. Good luck, though.
Thank you.
Chronologically, moving on. So we had our senior districts. We had 4 students accepted to our senior districts. And as you can see on the stuff in front of you, 3 of those students received recommendations to be able to audition for All-State. 2 of those students who were accepted in the districts and received the All-State recommendation are here tonight. Zoe Jagelski and Gianna Pompeo. Her mom pronounces it one way, and I always pronounce it the other. And do you guys want to come stand up? I'm going to have you speak after I do the next one. Okay. And then at the All-State Fest, so Gianna was accepted into All-State, as was one of our seniors, Aiden Levinson, who, if anybody got to see the production of Charlie Brown, he was Charlie Brown. They rehearsed for a full day on March 3rd, and you probably don't remember this because most of us don't have like perfect weather calendar, but March 3rd was the day before a big storm in northern Massachusetts, and western and northern Massachusetts. And so at about 3 o'clock on the afternoon of their rehearsals, they all got the word that they weren't going to be able to perform the next day at Symphony Hall, and that they were going to need to find another time and find another schedule. So they clamored, and they actually brought the groups all together to perform for each other, which is something they've actually never done. It was kind of neat, although it took away some of the rehearsal time. And then unfortunately, they actually were never able to find a makeup time. So Gianna and Aiden unfortunately did not get to do their All-State performance, which is a huge loss, because if nothing else, to be able to say I performed at Symphony Hall is a huge thing. And I'm probably opening old wounds. Did either of you have anything that you wanted to share or add?
I guess I could say something about the district. Sure. I've gotten the chance to do districts every year I've been at Whipple High, and it's just a good, like every year you go and you have a new experience because you have different conductors and different people in your section, and you play different music, and it's just a great experience to be able to play in a symphonic orchestra because we don't have that at Walpole as of right now. So it's a unique experience that I think motivates students a lot, because after my freshman year doing districts, I was motivated to audition for a youth orchestra outside of school. So, yeah.
That's great.
This year, I was very excited to get into all states. Definitely with like COVID, it was very hard to do anything like vocally. But the year before, I had got into districts and got an all-state rec for cello as well. And it's just a great opportunity to. It is motivating. You kind of like work your way up, like, and you meet all these people of all different talents and abilities. And that performance at the Westwood Regency, and when they found out that they had to cancel the Symphony Hall performance, that's never been done before. And I got to hear the orchestra and the band and the jazz band and the was there another choir? It was just Okay, I got to hear all of this, the groups, which nobody, like, at past all-state festivals get to hear the other groups, although it was a downside because I didn't get to perform. But, like, I got to hear the other groups, and it was really inspiring to be able to hear all the music there. And me and Zoe actually did the youth symphony together outside of school. Yeah.
And I didn't ask Summer, either of you pursuing music later? Yeah.
No.
That's okay. It's still could be a hobby. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. No, it's great to see your energy and enthusiasm, and I've watched you perform, and it's really nothing short of amazing. I think Triumph. I think Jenny, you Triumph. So, yeah, and that, by the way, that's a take if you get to see Triumph perform. Really wonderful, and both of you were amazing. And from one violist to another, I'd like to see a violist out there. So, thank you. Keep it up.
It's good that you articulate about going through the process and starting with auditioning maybe as a middle schooler. It's sort of like going to the playoffs in sports, right? Where you compete against so many other talented musicians across our region and get to meet and interact with other folks. So I'm very grateful to see that more and more of your kind of cohort students are going out for this and trying and taking the risk of doing something extra. I know you're all probably super overscheduled, but taking on extra music and to do this wonderful experience. And I know we're all very proud of you and hope that you continue to sing and play, even if you're not doing it in a career or in a vocation, moving forward. So very good. Thank you.
Sean?
Just a quick technical question. What is a symphonic orchestra?
It's when you add the winds versus just a string.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Wow.
So something about Zoe. Zoe actually left us last year to go to Germany. And so otherwise she probably would have had all.
So her streak was broken.
So she brought her streak. And then Gianna mentioned to you, she actually had been making all these things on the cello, and then all of a sudden this year was like, I think I'll do it on voice. So apparently we, don't all have that ability to drum tracks, but.
Excellent. Congratulations. Jen?
Yeah, I had a question about curriculum. Has any thought been given to moving the decision about being part of orchestra down to the elementary level? I know it's really tough to expect students on a transition year to go into that. It's just a lot to add on with everything else. I've been kind of advocating for that because I just saw a lot of kids who were taking music, and it was just a lot with everything else going on in a transition year. So I think it would be better if we started it sooner so that the kids would be in it and, you'd get to see who really had a talent and figure things out a little more before they were in a transition year.
No, you're not a plant, I swear. But that literally would be my goal, would be to get it back into, there's a lot of reasons. If for no other reason, you're not competing with as many other things, and so students can really figure out, is this something that I as opposed to doing it because my buddy chose this, or I want to be in the class with this person, or things like that. Students will choose it because it's something they want to try. I absolutely, I'm hoping that we can move down that road, especially when we go into the middle school, and also lots of opportunities will be presented to us, and I'm hoping that we can grab those opportunities. And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
That would be great. Thank you.
I swear, it's like I paid you to say that.
We're going to put that in the minutes too. So
yes, please, and please put that I wasn't the one who brought it up.
That's correct.
Well, I'm going to keep
Yeah,
going.
you have a couple others. Yeah.
Excellent.
So then we had our junior districts. I don't have anybody here from junior districts tonight. Between sports, everything, film festival, we're obviously a little thin. But these would be 7, 8, 9 students who can audition and try to do this. They do not have the ability to move on to an all-state level. It stops right there, but it is definitely a great experience for them. I also don't have any of our SEMSBA, but SEMSBA is that smaller organization, so it's a much less intimidating group. We have, as you can see, 2 slides worth of students who made our SEMSBA organization. And so it's great because it's that, for a lot of them, it's a doorway festival where then they get that, they go there and they say, oh, this was really neat. Maybe I'll try for the districts, which is harder, because then they know they're more motivated. And then the last one, and I would probably say this is like the group that is most likely your, like, they're at the beginning of their journey group, and that's the junior SEMSBA folks. Those are the folks who are probably making their first festival and getting that first experience. There are 3 of those students here right now, if they wouldn't mind coming on up for a minute. I will not put you on the spot and make this I was able to coach them, the high schoolers, earlier and tell them I might be making them speak. So we have Ruby Abbott, Taylor Cabral, and Elise Carlo, and they are all, well, actually, 8th grader, 7th grader. And
Great.
for all 3 of you, was this your first festival? No, you did SEMSBA last year. That's right, Ruby did SEMSBA as 7th grader last year. Now that you say that, I remember watching you on stage. But for a lot of them, the hope is this is just the beginning, that next year they'll audition for more, and they'll audition, and they're going to take the things that they learned and make their classes around them better too. So I don't know if you had any questions for them as far as their younger experience.
I think that's excellent.
3-minute,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
It's a great commitment and kind of step out of your comfort zone, especially if you haven't been singing or playing for that long, to say, I want to do something extra and strive to get into a performing group like this. So we expect you to be back in the next few years, going to other festivals, and we look forward to that. But we're very grateful you're part of the program, and good luck for the next few years in your musical careers.
Hope you stick with it. Please stick with it.
Definitely.
I believe Ruby and Taylor are going to be with us in the high school next year, and hopefully Elise will be in 2 years. So
Excellent.
Great.
and their friends. And that was my last slide and my last recognition. And then the last thing I want to say is, if you're not going to Taylor Swift or you don't have other things going on, you are more than welcome to come join us at our Pops Night next Friday
Absolutely.
night. It's going to be a blast. And I have half a table just set aside for anybody who wants to come if you're free. So.
Thank you.
Nice,
Much
very
appreciated.
good. We'll see you there.
Right, yeah, Carrie?
So the first thing I want to say is I have a 3rd grader, and in 2 weeks, for the first time in 4 years, I'm going to be able to go to school and watch him perform in a concert, which is just incredible. And something that I think a lot of parents have been missing the last several years, and just I want to express gratitude for the elementary teachers in particular who are working really hard. I think they're each doing 3 concerts, right? Like a sort of grade level division of 3 concerts, and I know that's a lot of work, and I just want to say that I'm grateful for that. Definitely count me in the number of folks who would love to see, a more robust elementary music program. But I think in the meantime, I'm hoping that as the middle and high school ensembles become healthier, that we can find more ways to connect them to the elementary school students. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be that ensembles are traveling or elementary school kids are traveling. Like, we know now we can connect virtually, right? And Zoom, a class at Elm Street could Zoom into like a chorus rehearsal at the high school, right? Or whatever. There's lots of ways to do it, but I think that type of connection is only going to increase the enthusiasm at the elementary school level. And so I'm hoping that we can see more of that, like, now that we're slowly getting back to normal. So thank you for everything you're doing.
Oh, my pleasure. As to the elementary concerts, I have 3 elementary teachers who've been teaching for a while, and they probably have never been this stressed about an elementary concert because of the fact that they haven't done it for a while, and these kids spent so long not singing, not doing these things, and they're not afraid, but their concern is, are people going to accept the fact that this won't look like concerts in 2018 did? Because fifth graders aren't going to be where they were in fifth grade in 2018. And so they've been putting so much work in and trying to get these kids ready for these concerts and want to put on something that people will enjoy and appreciate.
Well, it's all new to me because this is my. You don't know the difference. I would never know. But the other thing I would say is I think really what those moments are really going to be is just joyful for all of the kids and the families to be together in that way. And so tell them not to sweat it. We're all going to clap and cheer, and there's probably going to be some standing ovations. So.
Maybe some cheers from the parents, not from the students.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because their attention span's not long enough to cheer.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, Sean.
No, just a quick comment. I like how you talk kind of about expanding the program. You know, we know the performing aspect of it, but the different classes to bring, you know, music in some sense to more students. You know, the kids listen all the time to music today and they connect with it so much. But there's so many different aspects, like the production side of it. You know, maybe they're interested in learning about it or some theory behind it. You know, history, and making that available is great. And how you talked about, you know, kind of bringing that down and infusing some of the into the middle school classes sounds enticing.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up,
That's the visual arts.
Okay. I'm just going to back up for a minute because I just want to give you the significance of what Sophia won, truly won. There was about 7,100 pieces of art that were given to Scholastic Art Awards this year to, you know, submitted. And of those, 500 got gold. They, you know, kind of space them out. There was I want to say it was 700 silver, 1,100 honorable mention. But the gold key are the important ones that they send off to national. And the jurors are looking for really important core values of originality, personal emergence of voice, and their skill. And so the significance of it is that these people are, it's not just anyone looking at, they're professionals. They're artists themselves. They're looking at the work. They're really truly judging it for those things and looking for these qualities. So to be put in with the rest of the United States and be judged like that for her, it's just huge. So I was glad that she got to come and spoke about it. She came to me earlier today and she said, should I tell them anything about the work? And I said, yeah, because when you look at this work, some people don't know what they're looking at. But as soon as she says the art hallway, and if you've been down the art hallway, you look up, you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Like it's really, so just, I wanted to let you know her, you know, just the significance of that. And we don't have many, but when we do, it's really special. So we're excited for her. But I knew I was going to do it. I just wanted to touch base. It's kind of funny because I swear Tim and I did not share slides, but mine looks similar to his. I'm just giving you highlights because we're all working with our curriculum and the national standards at the different levels. So I wanted to show you what was going on, but we're really using art as a visual literacy for all grades. We're trying to get them to have experiences and be able to express themselves with the visual arts, some sort of image, sculpture, anything that they want to create. It gives them the ability to explore, investigate, lots of problem solving, very inquisitive. They're trying to communicate through visual means and have personal meaning making going on. So at the elementary level, so the national and state standards, we had them revised. The national standards were in 2014 that they got revised, and the state finally got revised in 2019. And they pretty much marry the national standards. They have creating, presenting, responding, and connecting are their large anchors. And they're just different ways that we can make sure that our students are hitting these important characteristics in their art-making process. And at the elementary level,
they are really, they've been introducing the standard of responding. They've really been focusing on that, especially with the upper grades. The students are learning how to do self-reflections and write about their work and be able to speak about what they've created. And they've also been practicing with critiquing other artists' works, artists that they're studying. They're learning how to be able to speak about the work and understand how it influences the world, how their artwork, what they do, can influence the world, how art in general influences the world. So trying to make meaning of it in another way, making them more well-rounded artists. Whereas at the middle school level, they've broken up into 6th and 7th graders are really learning how the creating concepts. They are trying to generate their artwork, be more open, trying new materials. So it's materials they learned at elementary, but they're trying new approaches with them, new methods, more exploration with them, how they can go further with them. In the 8th graders, they're really trying to get their artistic investigations to be more personal. They're trying to reflect on the art. They're trying to have intended meaning, and trying to get the kids to be more expressive. It's not just make this piece of art. It's, trying to get them to think about why they're creating the art, right? And then at the high school, we just happen to be doing presenting this year. So it's kind of funny that we're all touching on different spots. We touch on all of them with all of our projects, but this year we've kind of all gone off onto separate areas to focus on. But the teachers, the 4 teachers at the high school, we have been trying to work on presenting for the students. We present all the time. I'll tell you about all the artwork we put out there, but we're trying to teach them the criteria, methods, and the different processes that you need to do to hang a show, to choose a show. Why are we making the show? So we're trying to put some things together to get them to maybe think of other ways to use their art. It could be another career. You could be an art critic. You could be an art curator. You can work in museums. Like, there's many things you can do. So we're trying to broaden them as well. It's kind of funny because with COVID, we haven't been able to do a lot of the art shows, hang a lot of things around, and we finally got the second floor lobby back to be able to use this year. And we were all so excited that we had a Youth Art Month show. And the funnier thing was when I asked everyone the other day, hey, who has pictures? None of us, we all forgot to take pictures because we were so excited about the show that we can't even show you what it looked like, but it was really good. But we had, it just brought the space alive, and kids were stopping, teachers were stopping. They were all so appreciative that the art was hanging back up. We have a great system that was bought for the school, and, so we want to try to collaborate with students and teach them how to do that. We want to show them that when you're putting art out there, you're trying to cultivate appreciation and understanding with the general public. You're trying to spark conversation with people, like, why are these pieces up? They might not look like they belong together, but why did they come together as a show? So you try to find a theme and try to find connections, and it, gets people having conversations and just appreciating it. So we're really working on that so that the teachers did it together as a goal, but we want to get the kids to do it next year, and we want to have them, and it can be anyone. It doesn't have to be just the art students. We can have anyone at the school become, the people who cull the work, hang the work, and have the town come and see the exhibition. We've also, haven't told anyone, but also I'll tell you now, the art department has dubbed the second floor lobby the Common Street Gallery. That's our new place, and that's how we're gonna use it. So that's one of our things. A lot of ways we do exhibit our artwork, obviously, throughout the schools. We have many displays. All the teachers have things all over the place. Here at Town Hall, every couple of months, artwork gets changed around, and thanks to Bridget, it gets hung up in her office as well. We have the digital portfolios through Artsonia. We do scholastics, as you know, and Art in Bloom is a great way to collaborate with the Norwood Evening Garden Club and the Norwood High School, and we have a great new venue the Norwood Public Library has put us. It's the old architecture with the artwork and the flower arrangements. It's really beautiful. And we have the District Art Show. If you haven't seen it yet, it's right next door. There's over 600 pieces of art over there to look through. And we do have some of our artwork up at the Council on Aging still, so that's really nice. That's been up there, and they did a great job of, they framed it too as well to honor it, and it's there. So we're just trying to work slowly on our things. The one thing I forgot to tell you with the middle school, especially since it's combining, the 2 middle school teachers and myself have been working really hard to get a shared curriculum together, and we just finished one 6th grade up the other day, and it has a really nice sequential order to it, and it's just pushing the kids further. And we felt like when we were done the other day, we just thought this is a really good, you know, section for the kids to try out, and we can't wait to work with them on it and see how it goes. So, but that's what's happening in the art department.
Jen?
Yeah, you mentioned the middle school, and I'm all about choice for students and giving them choices as they're getting more mature and getting older. I would love to see students have more choices as to, you know, concentrating in different areas and expanding the art program a little. You know, I know some kids don't get art until later in the year, which I think is a shame. So I would love, you know, looking at that curriculum and expanding it. I've said the same thing about gym. I think, you know, some kids are great at sports, other kids not so much. And I think it's so important to figure out like how we can give options so every student can fit in and really like be true to themselves and their skill set. So I just would encourage, like, as we move towards the middle school, to think about giving choices to all students so that they can pick what they like to do.
That sounds great.
I want to piggyback on that before I think, Bill, I don't know if you.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something on the side. Sometimes in middle school, if kids are on IEPs and they're taking academic support classes, they have to choose what special they don't take. And if you don't take art, are there other ways to get those kids involved in art? You know, whether it is I love sort of the language of art too, like, you know, talking about the responding and presenting and connecting and thinking about art in different ways, not just as a creator, but I'm wondering if there are other ways to get some of those kids involved in art in some way. I mean, my son didn't take art in middle school at all.
Wow.
My dad's an art. No, see, my dad's an art teacher, so he's surrounded by it. So he has some of the language, and we do some of the things at home or with my parents. So that was something when you look at the list of things. Well, is it health? Well, probably not. Is it technology? Well, that's the future. So art was one. Unfortunately, we chose to have him not participate in. But if I know I'm not the only person in that situation,
Sure.
So are there other ways to think about getting those kids involved in art? Because music is a class that everybody takes. So is there some other, art could be, but is there some other way to get those kids involved, especially with the combined middle school with more options? Yeah,
Right, yeah, I was going to say extensions could work.
So just wanted to put that out there,
Sure,
again,
thank
as
you.
an art teacher's kid, I love art. I feel like everybody should have a part in it. So I love these other elements of it, but I wonder if there would be ways to get
No, that's
kids
a really
involved.
good point. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Great.
very much.
Okay, the next order of business is the superintendent report, right?
Thank you. So, in honor of this week, the Teacher Appreciation Week, Dr. Hahn and I want to extend, as Joy mentioned, our gratitude to the incredible work our educators who have really dedicated their lives to helping students learn and grow. So we thank them for their commitment to our students and their families. Also, don't want to forget about our nurses, School Nurses Day on the 10th. So thank them for their incredible work as well. Some reminders, the WPS Summer Learning Program enrollment, remember that's still open, and that's an opportunity for students to engage in essential content and prepare for September. And there's a link that was sent home. The principals are continuing to do that. That's on my site as well. The enrollment forms must be completed by Friday, May 29th. They do have space limited, so it might be first come, first served. But any questions, Jill Masterson and Elizabeth Ryan they're both running that program. And there's a way to contact them too, and that's up there. School bus registration is now open, so if your student rides the bus, you must register for the school bus. So even if you've already done it, you've got to continue to do it. Make sure that that is done. Bus applications received after July 7th are placed on a wait list. So it's really important to get that in. There's links, information's been sent out into My School Bucks, registration forms. Students, I just want to mention that students in grades K through 6 who live over 2 miles from their attending school, and students who qualify for free and reduced lunch are eligible for free bus transportation, but you still need to fill out that registration form. That's really, really important. As we can see, WPS continues to be really busy with many end-of-the-year transitions and events. Since the last time we met, Friday, April 28th, I attended the OPR Talent Show, which was at the high school, which I thought was really cool, so to watch these elementary students. And then near the end of that, I ran down to the Tri-M Coffee House, which was great. So it was nice to see the elementary students and then the high school students in the cafeteria. On May 1st, Dr. Hahn facilitated the last coaching for our coaches, instructional coaches PD, at the end of the year, and that was held at the Tech Building. So we were able to get that space. So I thank Dr. Hahn and the coaches for their hard work, and they're going to continue this into year 2. So we're excited about that. As Sandy mentioned, last Wednesday was well-attended, the District Art Show. And next Tuesday, we have the Walpole High School National Honor Society induction ceremony. And then on the 15th, we have the Film Festival. That's the red carpet event. And then the following day on Friday is Pops Night, so it's pretty busy. The following week, on May 22nd, we have Title I Night, and that's at 6 p.m. at Boyden, right? And then on Wednesday, we have Multicultural Family Night, and that's at 6 p.m. at Walpole High School. And that same evening is also the Tri-M induction ceremony. So a lot going on. I also just want to remind you that the kindergarten orientation will be held at all elementary schools next Wednesday. That's the 17th at 6:30 p.m. Town meeting was held on May 1st. The budget was passed. I just want to thank school committee and our leadership team for all their hard work. Many night meetings, and I think sometimes people might not realize that even though town meeting is in May, we begin this process in October. So it really is a year-long process, so thank you for that. And finally, we would like to congratulate the following educators who will be honored next month at the 39th Norfolk County Teachers Association Annual Awards Banquet. The honor award was given to Jim Holmes, for the music teacher at Fisher School. The service award is Ellen Walsh. She's a food service technician at Boyden School. Rookie of the Year, Aaron Mansfield, the adjustment counselor at Fisher School. And then there's a master's degree scholarship award, and that was Danielle Ucalano at Boyden School. So we congratulate them.
Any comments or questions?
I have 2 bus questions. Just curious why we have a bus fee.
Why?
Yes.
To balance our budget.
To balance our budget.
Unfortunately, yep.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
And the second one is, do you know if it's possible to set up multiple payments? I think right now it's required to pay in a single
Yeah,
amount.
good question. I think if people want to pay in installments or need that time, to contact Kim Poirier in transportation, and she can help. She's wonderful.
Thank you. All right. The next item is old business, middle school building project update. Mr. Breen.
So the topping off of the steel is next Wednesday, so that's a big milestone. So thereafter, you'll really start to see a school take shape. It's kind of neat.
Great, that's excellent.
Amazing how fast it's going up, isn't it?
I know it.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Can I just ask about that? But does everybody realize that we are all invited to sign the beam?
Yep.
In there? That's,
What?
there was some sort of email, but it wasn't particularly clear.
Right.
Like one of the beams is going to have
signatures, and I'm getting the impression it's any of us,
Yep.
it's like the teachers, probably the kids who are there,
Yeah.
so that someday in the future, when it comes down, we'll be part of history. So as I understand it, the beam is at Byrd
at Byrd.
until Monday.
Right, and then on Monday, it's being moved to Johnson. So anybody at Johnson, so you can go to Byrd or you can go to Johnson anytime during the school day.
Okay.
And then after, on Tuesday, they'll get it back to the Byrd site in order to raise it.
Okay, so
wanna
if
go
you
up.
show up to sign the beam, you can just, is it outside? Like where?
It's in school, just bring them, they'll let
Oh,
you, yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
A steel beam is in school, okay.
Yeah, they're able to get it in, they're able to
I
get
was
it in.
kind of
It's
thinking,
not
like,
I know,
kind of a
I know, I'm
safety
thinking-
concern, and I didn't want to say that, but
That's what I was
okay.
thinking, is it
Did
laying
BYO
out front?
Sharpie, or like, do they have them?
They have the pens for them. Yeah.
That's excellent,
Come in
really
and
cool.
sign.
Great.
Kind of a little bit like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Ish.
neat.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reminder, Nancy. High school update, Mr. Ahern.
Yeah, not a super active time right now. They've finished their design stuff and sent it off to the cost estimators. And I think we'll have some more information about that towards the end of May, and maybe a chance in the June meeting to get some formal updates from the architects.
Great, thank you. Subcommittee activities. No?
Can I just mention one thing?
Yes.
Carrie and I went to one of the social studies classes,
Oh,
which was
right,
awesome.
right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the class presented on something that they had worked on as a group. They identified a concern, and their concern was social media and how it affects kids. So we had a really interesting conversation, and you could sense that they wanted something more to come out of their work. So we suggested inviting them to either one of the next two school committee meetings. And they're also putting together probably some sort of video-ish project.
Oh, great.
Because it was very interesting. So I guess I just wanted to alert you guys to the fact that
That's
it
great.
may be coming. The teacher was Gia Higgins.
Yes.
And, we just sort of left it as, we'll stay in touch, but I would be surprised, I think, if they didn't want to come. Is that your sense, Carrie?
Yeah, I think, they did a lot of research and identified a topic that feels very salient for them, and we're wanting to enlist our help as people who have a platform to get their message out. And we talked about ways that we could lead the charge, but suggested that actually a better use of us would be as people who can elevate their message and their communication and their point of view. And so they are working on, I think, the best way to do that. So I would just say, stay tuned. Yeah, and there'll be more.
Well, that's great you're able
Cool.
to get over there in time. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation. Yeah.
Great.
It was wonderful, and what I thought was impressive was, it was probably a class of, 20-ish kids, 25 maybe, and everybody had a role in presenting that day, but most of them wanted to be part of the conversation too. So it was engaging in that way.
It is, it's impressive how they were able to divide up. They all were responsible for doing everything, but in terms of the presentation, they all had their part, and it comes together really nicely.
That's great. Thank you. Looks like we have no citizens for comments. So let's move to the approval of warrants and minutes.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following expense warrants for the amounts listed in your packet. Those are 223043 and 223044.
Second.
A motion by Sean, second by Mark. All those in favor? Opposed, abstained, 700.
And I'd also like to make a motion to approve the following payroll warrant for the amount listed in your packet. That is 2343 PA.
Second.
Motion by Sean, a second by Mark. All those in favor? Those abstained, passes 700. Okay, Okay, no gifts this week. Would someone like to take the approval of the minutes?
Will you, Madam Chair, make a motion to approve the April 26, 2023 Superintendent Evaluation Subcommittee meeting minutes, the April 27th, 2023 Curriculum Subcommittee meeting minutes, and the April 27th, 2023 School Committee meeting minutes?
Second.
A motion by Bill, second by Mark. All those in favor? Opposed, abstained, 700.
Through you, Madam Chair, I make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Purpose 3 of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, subsection 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining and/or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of this public body, and you, the chair, so declare.
I do declare an open meeting will have detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the school committee.
Therefore, Madam Chair, I further move that the school committee return from executive session solely for the purposes of adjournment.
Second.
A motion by Bill, second by Carrie. Poll the committee. Ms. Nunzio?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And I say yes. So we will now enter into executive session, returning only to open session for the purpose of adjournment. Thank you.